What is up, everybody? This is Noah with another unscripted commentary. This week we have an anonymous question. Have you ever realized that you just no longer feel a connection to a friend or even a family member? What do you do then? This is an interesting one. I'm gonna interpret it my way, and then we'll see if anybody else thinks that this goes a different way. But when I first read this, I thought about my experience during the pandemic. I was living with my family. For one, I was in college when it all went down, and I basically packed all my stuff up one night and drove home. And while I was there, I was close to my family. All trapped in together. There's a little bit of friction that goes on, but overall, it was a good experience. But I ended up wanting to try to get back into the swing of going to college again. And it was in the middle of the pandemic too, and so I packed up my stuff again and basically moved into the dorms by myself. And throughout all that time, eventually I did get a roommate, but I was mostly alone. I didn't see people in person basically at all. And also, like, the only way to keep the connections going was through the internet and trying to organize events with one another and to hang out. And a lot of that fell on me. I realized that if I was going to be around people on the internet, I would have to go out of my way to try to organize that, try to get that moving. And that was not easy. Especially when you face a lot of rejection. Like, I have a really hard time with rejection. It causes me to kind of cave in on myself and question, like, am I good enough and stuff. And so that was a big lesson for me, reaching out to everybody I knew and trying to organize these events of like, hey, let's watch a movie on Discord together. So I had some people who were regularly doing that and joining that. I had D&D online and we met regularly. And part of that is like in maintaining those relationships. It takes time, and it takes effort, and you have to kind of push through it. And so if you feel like this connection is worthwhile, the one that's kind of fading away, like, fight for it, like, go for it, try to reach out to the person. And, sometimes they'll turn you down, and maybe they just say, scheduling doesn't work, and maybe you just keep pushing forward. If it's worth it, keep going. But if they say no, right, I don't want to spend time with you, or, I'm happy with kind of letting things end, then a relationship is a two-way street. You got to let it go. A lot of this is for the friendship side. We'll stick to that for now, and maybe we'll touch on family in a bit. But I think about back to, high school and middle school and all the friends that I had there. And, I don't talk to many of them, but the few friends that I have, a really strong connection with, I still meet with and talk to today, even if they do live far away. I have a friend who lives in Florida now, who basically, has been moving around for the last couple years since college, and I've been trying to maintain that relationship, and so we've been, texting and sending voice memos for the last several months, and it's been a really great experience. But that takes effort, and it takes a lot of putting yourself out there to say, hey, like, let's talk, let's do this. For my other friend who lives a little bit closer, like, finding time to regularly be in person and talk to one another, and to send each other memes, and trying to do that, because to a certain extent, all relationships have a certain level of entropy, right? It's all going to kind of degrade naturally over time, and it takes effort. It's like a garden for that matter, right? The weeds are going to come up. You can't just plant it and it goes, but you have to spend time in the garden. And if it's not immediately in front of you, we think of schools as, why is it hard to make friends outside of school? And the reason it is because you're not spending time in person with this person every single day. The schedules don't align that way. And if you're going to maintain this relationship, you have to be there and doing this. in-person meeting or, online talking regularly. For family, it's a little bit more difficult because I don't know what the family situation is. Sometimes no longer feeling a connection might end up being a good thing. I think it is one of those things where, for the most part, if I was to recommend generally to people, not knowing their specific situation, maintaining those connections are extremely important. And finding time to regularly kind of keep in contact and make it fun, right? If you're going to hang out with people, don't make it, let's sit down for an interview and just look at each other and stare. But actually take time to, do something you both love together. Or do something that they love and kind of suck it up and just go with it. Because that's important too. But the main thing, the thing that lies at the root of this is when you notice these connections kind of falling away and breaking down, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to let it? Are you happy with that? Is that what you want? Is that what you think is right? Or do you pursue it and you keep it going? And we all have a limited bandwidth. We can't have every friend in the world. There's a famous kind of idea called the Dunbar number, which is the idea that there's a specific number of people that you can recognize and have a relationship in your life. And once you reach a certain number, any new people, you can't really process anymore. And I don't think this is there's layers to this, right? Like you have an inner circle and then you have an outer circle and you have another outer circle, right? Of friendship. There's only so many friends you can have. And you only have so many hours in a day. So be careful, but also like choose people that you are confident in, that you want to maintain this relationship with. And, do your best to be a good friend to them. That's all I have to say on this. I'd love to hear all your thoughts, and anybody who thinks that I'm way off on this, please put it in the comments. I'd love to see that conversation. If you have any questions, feel free to go into the description of this video, and there is a form to submit questions for this. And I think that's it. I'll see you all later, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.